Welcome to English Lift, your favorite place to learn English through beautiful and inspiring stories. Today, we have a very special, deeply moving, and emotional story for you. It is the story of a very small boy with a very big dream. This boy faced many big problems, and the world almost forgot him. But he never gave up. Today, you will listen to his incredible journey. This video will help you practice your English listening skills, learn simple words, and find the confidence to speak English fluently. Sit back, relax, and let this beautiful story lift your English and your heart. A very long time ago, in a quiet city in Argentina, a small boy looked at his reflection in a window. His name was Lionel Messi. He was only 5 years old, but he was very different from the other children in his neighborhood. He was very thin, very frail, and much shorter than his friends. While the other children ran fast and jumped high, little Messi often stood alone. The doctor looked at the little boy and felt sad. He told the family that Messi had a special medical condition called congenital dwarfism. This meant his body could not grow naturally like other children. The doctor said that without expensive medicine, Messi would always be very short and weak. He might never grow taller than 1.5 meters. Every single day, the brave little boy had to take a long, sharp needle and inject medicine deep into his thigh. He did this every day for 10 long years. His mother watched him with tears in her eyes. It broke her heart to see her little boy in so much pain. But little Messi did not cry. He smiled and comforted his mother because he had a secret strength inside his heart. Messi had a wonderful grandmother who loved him very much. She was his very first guide and his biggest fan. She saw something beautiful in Messi that nobody else could see. Every afternoon, she took him to the local football field. At that time, Messi could only sit on the sidelines. He was a mere spectator, watching the bigger boys play. He wanted to play so badly, but the coach thought he was too small and fragile. Then, one sunny evening, everything changed. A big match was about to start, but one of the team's players did not show up. The coach was frantically pacing the sidelines, looking at his watch, completely at a loss. The team needed one more player, or they would lose the match before it even started. Seeing the panic, Messi turned to his grandmother and asked her to recommend him to the coach. The grandmother walked to the coach and said, "Let my grandson play. He is fast and clever." The coach looked at the tiny boy and shook his head. He harbored zero faith in Messi's ability. However, there were only 3 minutes remaining before kickoff. The helpless coach sighed, took a small jersey, and casually handed it to the boy. The match officially commenced, and the crowd looked at the pint-sized boy on the field. What happened next stunned everyone. The moment the football touched Messi's feet, he transformed. He possessed a dazzling ability to dribble past opponents with incredible speed. He could accelerate in short bursts, moving like a flash of lightning. His skills far exceeded any rival of his age. Suddenly, Messi launched an explosive solo drive from the middle of the field. 4 large defenders rushed toward him to steal the ball, but Messi moved his body gracefully, shaking off all 4 defenders in succession. He ran directly toward the goal and buried a powerful strike into the back of the net. The stadium went completely silent for a second, and then the crowd exploded with cheers. An on-site cameraman captured this historic moment in its entirety. The coach stood with his mouth open, truly witnessing an extraordinary football talent. He ran to the grandmother and pleaded with her to let Messi formally join the team. On the way home, the grandmother held Messi's hand tightly and told him he would become the greatest player in the world. From that day forward, Messi always raised his hands and pointed his fingers toward the sky every time he scored a goal, sharing the joy of victory with his beloved late grandmother. Football completely integrated into Messi's life. No matter where he went, the football was his constant companion. He walked with it, slept near it, and played with it every single minute. But after all, he was still just a 5-year-old child who faced normal childhood problems. One afternoon, right before an important match was set to kick off, Messi went to the bathroom and accidentally locked himself inside. The door was heavy and old. He turned the handle again and again, but it did not open. He knocked loudly and cried out for help, but there was no response because everyone was outside on the loud field. He could hear the whistle blow. The match had already begun. In a fit of desperation, Messi knew he could not miss the game. He looked at a small window high up on the wall. He picked up a heavy object, smashed the window glass, scrambled through the sharp edges, and bolted towards the pitch at full speed. By the time his tired feet reached the grounds, only the final 20 minutes of the match remained. His team was in big trouble, trailing the opponent 0-2. The coach looked at Messi and saw a bright glimmer of hope for victory. He immediately subbed him onto the field. The moment Messi's feet touched the grass, he rapidly turned the tide of battle. Relying on his exquisite technical mastery, he drove past defenders as if they were statues. He scored one goal, then another, single-handedly pulling off an incredible comeback to lead his team to a glorious victory. After the match, every participating player received a beautiful bicycle as a reward, and Messi rode home with a big smile. While Messi was agile, swift, and a complete genius on the real football field, he was very different in his private life. He was a quiet, shy boy, and surprisingly, he was not at all skilled at football video games. His friends often invited him to play digital games on a small television. Before playing, everyone would earnestly change into their favorite football jerseys, fully immersing themselves in the beautiful ritual. Messi would always choose the famous Barcelona number 10 shirt. At that time, he was just a simple boy with a dream, and he had no idea that this exact jersey would accompany him through countless future international tournaments and forge modern miracles in world football. It was also during this happy childhood period that Messi met a beautiful girl named Antonella. She was his friend's younger sister. She had a kind smile and always encouraged him. Little did he know that this girl would eventually become his wife, walking beside him through all the ups and downs for the rest of his life. Just when his family thought Messi would smoothly step onto a professional football path, destiny suddenly encountered a devastating turn. During a routine medical checkup, the doctor looked at Messi's growth charts with a serious face. The growth delay was severe, and the official diagnosis of dwarfism was confirmed. The doctor flatly stated that without continuous treatment, Messi's body would stop growing. The medicine was incredibly expensive, costing a staggering $1,000 every single month. For a humble working-class family in Argentina, this amount of money was a fortune. However, His father looked at his brave son and firmly resolved to pour every ounce of their resources into curing the child. At just 10 years old, Messi showed incredible maturity. He began to independently inject the medication into his own legs every night. The thick needles brought sharp jolts of pain, yet he never once cried, screamed, or complained. Instead, he would turn around, wipe his own tears, and comfort his deeply worried mother, telling her that everything would be fine. But the good times did not last long. A massive economic crisis swept through Argentina, and businesses everywhere closed down. Messi's father unfortunately lost his job, and the family's income dropped to zero. The already financially strapped family could no longer afford the exorbitant medical costs, and the life-changing treatment process was forced to a sudden halt. Messi's father knew that if the injections stopped, his son's dream would die. He scrambled and traveled between major football clubs across the nation, praying that a team would sign his talented child and pay for the medicine. However, the world of professional football can be very cold. The moment multiple clubs learned of Messi's dwarfism, they all flatly refused to provide any medical sponsorship. In their eyes, there was simply no possibility of a boy plagued by such a disease playing football professionally. They thought he was too small to survive the rough and physical world of sports. Just as the entire family plunged into absolute despair and felt completely abandoned, a miracle came from far away. Barcelona Football Club, situated across the ocean in Spain, extended a beautiful olive branch. This incredible opportunity happened because Messi's father had previously distributed videotapes of Messi's childhood matches to scouts all over the world. Most people threw the tapes away, but Barcelona's sporting director was the very first person to lay down his prejudices and actually open that videotape. The moment he finished watching the incredible footage of the tiny boy dribbling past giant defenders, he was mesmerized. He proactively contacted Messi's family and granted him an immediate trial in Spain. They met in a small restaurant to finalize the agreement. Because they did not have official documents ready, the sporting director wrote down a historical pledge on a simple paper napkin. Barcelona promised to fully cover all of Messi's expensive medical expenses if he joined their academy. At 13 years old, Messi officially commenced his professional football career, leaving his home country to chase his destiny. When he first entered the famous Barcelona Youth Academy, known as La Masia, life was not easy. His introverted and painfully shy personality made it incredibly difficult for him to integrate into the group of confident European boys. He sat quietly in the corner of the dressing room, speaking to nobody. He was frequently teased by his teammates due to his small, slight build and his different accent. They called him a mute because he rarely spoke. But Messi did not use words to fight back. He used his feet. The moment the football reached Messi's feet on the training pitch, he instantly used his raw, indisputable capability to silence every critic. He moved with such grace and power that he made everyone look at him with newfound respect. The boys realized that this tiny Argentinian was a football magician. 3 years in the youth academy flashed by in the blink of an eye. Through hard work, proper nutrition, and completed medical treatments, Messi grew stronger and taller. At the tender age of 16, Messi successfully transitioned into Barcelona's first team, welcoming his official professional debut alongside adult men. When Messi picked up the phone and dialed his mother's number to share this ecstatic news, She was so choked with emotion that she couldn't speak. She just wept tears of pure joy. Her son, who was so close to being entirely abandoned by the judgmental eyes of the world, had finally made it through the dark storm. Very quickly, Messi's extraordinary talent caught the attention of the Spanish national team, who tried to recruit him to play for Spain. But Messi's heart belonged to his homeland. An Argentine chef working in Spain deeply cared for his country's football future and could not bear to watch such a genius slip away. The chef intentionally stopped the manager of the Argentine national team and passionately recommended Messi. Having never even heard the name, the manager placed zero faith in the chef's words. But out of courtesy for the chef's relentless enthusiasm, he reluctantly accepted a match disc. Yet, the moment he cast aside his prejudices and opened the video, the manager was utterly paralyzed with shock. Messi's ferocious speed, masterful dribbling, and pinpoint finishing demonstrated a top-tier divine talent that far exceeded anyone of his age. The manager immediately instructed his staff to contact Messi's family, officially extending an international call-up invitation to the young boy. Faced with the summons of his motherland, Messi did not hesitate for a single second. He was full of anticipation to don the blue and white national shirt. For this was where his family resided, and it was the very soil where his late grandmother was laid to rest. He wanted to make them proud. He knew that while earning the national team's recognition was a grand honor, maintaining a consistent and stable performance at the club level remained the absolute priority. However, it was not easy for a 16-year-old boy to blend into a heavyweight dressing room teeming with global superstars. The arrival of the legendary Brazilian player Ronaldinho completely broke the ice for Messi. Ronaldinho was incredibly approachable, carrying zero superstar arrogance. He saw the shy boy sitting alone and proactively invited Messi to sit right beside him. Just like that, the veteran players slowly began to accept this young starlet. Ronaldinho treated Messi like his own younger brother, taking meticulous care of him on and off the pitch. Messi's very first professional goal for Barcelona came precisely from a sublime, beautiful assist delivered by Ronaldinho. After the ball hit the net, Ronaldinho ran to Messi and warmly hoisted him onto his back so the whole stadium could see him. This image became an eternal, heartwarming classic in the football world. The Barcelona number 10 jersey, from this exact moment onward, achieved a true passing of the torch. In the years that followed, the bond between the two remained profoundly deep, and Messi steadily grew into the absolute core powerhouse of Barcelona. He played for this Spanish club for 21 incredible years. He accumulated 778 appearances, hammering in 672 goals and delivering 269 assists. He drove his club to capture 35 trophies across tournaments of all sizes, including 10 La Liga titles, 4 UEFA Champions League titles, and 7 Copa del Rey trophies. His individual accolades were equally towering, glorious, and luxurious. He won 8 Ballon d'Or awards, 8 FIFA World Player of the Year honors, 6 European Golden Shoes, and 8 La Liga Golden Boots. He became a multi-millionaire, a global icon, and a hero to millions of children worldwide. Yet no matter how profoundly successful Messi became at the club level, he always harbored a singular, unyielding obsession deep in his heart. He wanted to lead Argentina to a FIFA World Cup championship. This obsession came painfully close to realization during the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. With his physical condition at his absolute peak, Messi led his squad into battle, boasting the most luxurious attacking depth on the planet with stars like Kun Agüero, Angel Di Maria, Gonzalo Higuaín, Rodrigo Palacio, and Ezequiel Lavezzi. This attacking arsenal, envied by the entire world, propelled Argentina smoothly all the way into the grand finale against Germany. But as the regular 90 minutes concluded, neither side had managed to break the deadlock. During tense extra time, in the 113th minute, a young German player unleashed a stunning volley to score a dramatic winner. For Argentina, the wait went painfully on, past 30 long years. At the medal ceremony, Messi walked past the golden trophy. His desolate, longing silhouette, as he stared intensely at the World Cup trophy without touching it, became an agonizing regret that countless fans could never erase from their hearts. 4 years later, at the World Cup in Russia, destiny once again failed to smile upon Messi. Argentina engaged in a fierce, chaotic, and emotional battle against France, ultimately crashing out of the tournament with a bitter 3-4 defeat. After the final whistle, Messi stood frozen on the pitch for a long time. The beautiful imagery of his childhood idol, Diego Maradona, lifting the golden trophy vividly flashed through his mind, and his heart felt like it was drowning in unyielding disappointment. The world began to say that Messi was too old, that he would never win the big one for his country, and that his time had passed. When time finally marched into the year 2022, the World Cup took place in Qatar. This grand finale became an immortal classic showdown in the entire history of sports. Argentina reached the final to face France once again. In the first half, Messi stepped up and converted a tense penalty to break the deadlock. Soon after, his old friend Angel Di Maria pushed a clinical, beautiful shot into the net, handing Argentina a comfortable 2-0 lead over France. The fans were already celebrating. But football is a beautiful and cruel game. In the 78th minute, the young French superstar Kylian Mbappé hammered home a penalty, and just 3 minutes later, in the 81st minute, he unleashed a stunning volley to blast the back of the net, rapidly evening out the scoreline to 2-2. The stadium shook with excitement. In the ensuing extra time, the two Titans fought with everything they had. Messi scored again to make it 3-2, but Mbappé struck once more for his side, sending the score into a thrilling, repetitive deadlock of 3-3. Ultimately, the match had to be decided by a dramatic penalty shootout. The air was thick with tension. Argentina's goalkeeper made incredible saves, and Messi's team emerged victorious, defeating France to capture the third World Cup trophy in Argentina's team history. Messi fell to his knees with tears streaming down his face. The long, painful journey was finally complete. The little boy who was once diagnosed with dwarfism, who injected himself with painful needles every night, and who stood precariously on the absolute fringes of a world ready to abandon him, had conquered the universe. Whether it was the relentless encouragement and support of his loving family, or his own unbreakable, stubborn defiance against bad luck, it all transformed into the beautiful fuel that propelled him forward. It allowed him to stand right back up after falling down countless times. Now approaching 40 years of age, he steps onto the world stage as a true defending champion. Perhaps his final games will mark the end of an era, but regardless of what the future holds, he has already achieved absolute success because he has become an indelible brand of human history. As long as he stands there, he will continue to radiate a brilliant light, illuminating the paths of countless souls who passionately yearn to chase their own big dreams. This beautiful story teaches us a powerful life lesson. No matter how small you feel, no matter how many people tell you no, and no matter how many difficulties stand in your way, your determination is your greatest strength. Success does not come easily or quickly. It requires patience, hard work, and the courage to stand up every time you fall. Just like Messi practiced every day to achieve his dream, practicing your English every day with English Lift will bring you closer to absolute fluency. Keep listening, keep believing, and never give up on your journey. If you loved this inspiring story, please hit the like button, subscribe to English Lift, and leave a comment below telling us your favorite part of Messi's journey. See you in the next lesson.